The sad truth is that man's real life consists of a complex of inexorable opposites. Day and night, birth and death, happiness and misery, good and evil. We are not even sure that one will prevail over the other, that good will overcome evil, or joy defeat pain. Life is a battleground. It always has been, and always will be. We all possess hidden facets of ourselves, aspects that we've consciously or unconsciously chosen to conceal. Our minds built these protective barriers to shield us from pain, judgment, or rejection. Yet in this process of self-protection, we unintentionally shackle parts of our true selves. In this internal battleground, our own self serves as both our greatest ally and opponent. Within each person exists a dynamic tension between elements of our personality that propel us toward growth, and those holding us back. We've been resilient, navigating life's challenges with strength. But now comes the time to acknowledge what Jung called the shadow. Those repressed aspects cast aside in the deep realm of our subconscious mind. The shadow contains pieces of ourselves deemed too painful, shameful, or unacceptable. As we venture deeper into our psyches, we encounter resistance, both from external conditioning and our own reluctance to face what lies beyond. These shadow aspects may initially appear threatening, like powerful sealed energies too dangerous to approach. Yet these encounters represent essential parts of yourself waiting to be acknowledged, understood, and ultimately integrated into your conscious being. When we refuse to recognize these disowned parts of ourselves, we project them onto others. We perceive in other people the very qualities we deny within ourselves, allowing us to maintain the illusion that these traits exist outside of us rather than within. As Jung explains, projection is one of the commonest psychic phenomena. Everything that is unconscious in ourselves we discover in our neighbor, and we treat him accordingly. This psychological defense mechanism helps us avoid the anxiety of confronting our own faults and weaknesses. Yet, paradoxically, projection can also be the first step toward awareness if we learn to recognize its subjective origin and withdraw these projections from the external world. Sometimes, when we see others being assertive, we interpret it as rudeness or aggression. When we see someone being kind, we might see them as weak. But often, what we're really reacting to is something within ourselves. The assertive person awakens our own buried desire to speak up. The kind person challenges the part of us that's afraid to be vulnerable. What we judge in others can be a reflection of what we've yet to face in ourselves. The elements of the shadow can be released during moments of emotional intensity, stress, or reduced inhibition. By exploring our shadow aspects, we uncover hidden strengths and forgotten parts of ourselves that make us more complete, more human. As Alexander Solzhenitsyn observed, the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. When we fail to recognize this truth, we risk not only our own psychological well-being, but potentially contribute to greater conflict in the world. For Jung believed the greatest danger lies not in our weapons, but in our ignorance of our own nature. Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. If an inferiority is conscious, one always has a chance to correct it. But if it is repressed and isolated from consciousness, it never gets corrected, and is liable to burst forth suddenly in a moment of unawareness. At all counts, it forms an unconscious snag, thwarting our most well-meant intentions. The personal shadow represents the unknown dark side of our personality, those parts of ourselves we tend to hide or push down. These could be emotions, thoughts, or behaviors we've been taught are bad or don't fit with how we're supposed to act. much of this gets shaped when we're young, by family, school, or just the world around us. The collective shadow represents the unknown dark side of society. It manifests in atrocities, persecution, physical suffering, sickness, poverty, and other societal ills. The personal shadow often serves as a bridge to the collective shadow. Those relying heavily on projection need scapegoats for their problems. When individual scapegoats are driven away, most people seek new targets rather than engaging in self-reflection. Many discover that targeting entire groups proves most effective, making them susceptible to collectivist movements with ready-made scapegoats. Collective scapegoating becomes dangerous, as it can justify persecution and violence. As Jung noted, not that these others are wholly without blame, for even the worst projection is at least hung on a hook, perhaps a very small one, but still a hook, offered by the other person. Yet collectivist movements tend to hang virtually all societal problems on these small hooks. Recognizing that the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being is essential for evaluating the true sources of evil. Failure to withdraw projections not only harms personal well-being, but contributes to unnecessary global conflict. Jung suggested that widespread psychological projection could lead to war, as the greatest danger to civilization lies not in our weapons, but in our inability to understand ourselves, causing what should be an internal battle to manifest externally.